Now, Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm your host, Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing agents who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I am joined tonight by the one and only Emmie Flaherty.
Hello.
Hello. Emmie is a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, and she's joined me in the past, and she's joined Sharon in the past. But I'm going to give you a moment to reintroduce yourselves to all of our listeners who might have missed your episode.
Well, thank you. I am Emmie Flaherty. I am a full-time realtor here at Boston Connect in Pembroke. I am also a resident of Pembroke, so I live, sleep, eat, and breathe Pembroke. And you can reach me at 781-217-4580, or all things social media. You can find me as Realtor Emmie Flaherty.
Yeah. And your kids go to Pembroke schools? Or
They do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, you really do eat, breathe, live everything else you could possibly do.
Everything Pembroke. I do. I love it.
And you're a part of so many different things, too. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So I'm on the PTO for Bryanville Elementary. We just had a holiday fair this weekend, which was awesome. We had just about 80 vendors at the Wolves Den here in Pembroke. I try to keep it here in town. So that was awesome. I'm also on the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the committee for the Pembroke Farmers Market, and soon enough, it exists, but we haven't started doing it yet. You'll be able to adopt an island here in Pembroke.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could be a part of the dog park committee.
Yes, I know.
I'm a part of that, and I don't have a dog.
Right?
You could be a part of that.
I would definitely join that. You know, I love my animals.
Yeah. With all of your free time. You also have a book club.
Yes,
that
we
you meet
do.
Here. Yeah, you meet here once a month, right? Do you
We
meet
do.
anywhere else or just here?
No, just here.
Wow, we're special. So you have a book club. Can people join it?
Of course, anyone can join. The thing about this is, you know, you can't see when you're watching us on, Facebook when we go live on the radio, or obviously if you're in your car, but here at Boston Connect, our office is a house. So
Yeah.
the basement is carpeted, and Sharon has it decorated wonderfully. So we sit downstairs with a glass of wine, discuss the books, and we have a great time. Everyone's welcome. We're on Facebook as Pembroke Literary Society. We meet once a month. Usually it's the first Thursday, but depending on schedules, we sometimes juggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you do cookie classes, you do the blanket, you just do so much here.
I know.
I'm like, how do you have time for anything? You're so busy with your real estate, you're busy with life, that I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know.
I could compare you to Amy Masfer.
Yes.
So, just always everywhere, but
All the
always
time.
doing what she's supposed to.
I know.
It's
Well,
just so funny.
You kind of figure it out. You know where your priorities are. And I love having the events here because, I know a lot of towns on South Shore. I'm South Shore born and raised. So, a lot of other towns that I have lived in the past, they have a lot of great spaces for events and such. But where we're Pembroke and we're a little bit further out, it's getting better. We've definitely got a lot of restaurants and stuff. But the point is that I chose to have events here because it's beautiful.
Yeah.
We're right in the center of town. We're right across from Stop and Shop in the center of Pembroke. So it's very welcoming, and I love to have people in. So, Yeah, we do cookies. We actually have cookie brunch this weekend, but that's sold out.
Oh, wow. Is it this Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, cookie brunch this Sunday.
Yes, we're doing cookie brunch. So we'll be decorating cookies and having some mimosas and having a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know Julia, who is our administrative coordinator here, who puts together our agendas. We always veer off, which I feel bad, but but she attends a lot of your events too. She's part of your book club, and we just love that. And we love that you utilize our space because we want people to come here, right?
It is. Yeah. It's so fun. And if you're wondering what it looks like, I have a video on Instagram under Office.
Oh, really?
I love it. Yeah, I put it with
nice.
really good music. I love it. It's just cute in here.
I'll have to check it out. Yeah, it is very cute. But and speaking of Pembroke, I have this in front of me. Do you know more about this? Because, okay, so it's for the Pembroke Titans football. It's like a little, I don't know, card, like these little cards that you can get deals for local businesses. So there's Town Tavern, there's Pins, Somewhere Else, Jersey Mike's, Angel Pizza, 550 Tavern, and a bunch of other places in here. There's McDonald's, Alumni, everything. So if we have a caller tonight, so we're going to get into what our topic is about. But if you want to join in on our discussion and you're feeling very brave and you want to call in, 781-837-4900 is the number to the studio. Larry will take your phone call and pipe you into us. Again, 781-837-4900. Anybody who calls, I'm going to give away. I have more than one, but we're hoping for at least one caller. So I have one of these. I will give it to you. It's to save some money. All the money, we purchased them as an office, but all the money went to the Pembroke Titans football. So
yeah, they're little discount cards. You can put them on your key ring, or they have an app, and then you go places.
Oh, that's perfect.
See if there's a discount. But Town Tavern's on there, and I've used mine quite a few times.
Oh, really? I've been to town a couple times, and I haven't brought mine, so shame on me. But yeah, $5 off a purchase of $30 or more. Like these are some of these are really great.
They are
deals. So free chips and drink with the purchase of a sub at Jersey Mike's.
I know. Everyone buys a sub.
I love a good sub from Jersey Mike's. So if you, again, want to join in on the discussion, we'll give away. And we're live on Facebook, so I'm waving it all around. But, okay, so yesterday we decided that you were going to be on the show.
We did.
Once I said, I don't have anybody for the show all month.
Yes.
And then we were
here
like,
I am.
Then they all got filled up. So this is perfect. But you did come up with our topic tonight.
I did.
So why don't you let everybody know what we're going to be talking about?
Awesome. So tonight I wanted to talk about why experience matters in real estate. I think there's a lot of professions out there where, if someone's got a designation in something, you just make an appointment and go. But I think it's a little different in real estate. So tonight I wanted to talk about why experience matters. And I personally believe that it could save you as a seller thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. I have some pretty good examples from homes that I've sold and buyers and sellers that I've worked with to kind of, tell you why I feel that way.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at tonight. We're going to talk about that.
Nice. So, and you obviously have experience. You've been at our office for what, over a year?
Over a year.
Is it almost 2 years?
I wish, but no.
Yeah, okay.
It's
but
been
you
over
were
a year.
you were at another company previously.
Mm-hmm.
You have a couple years under your belt, so you know that experience, and you do this full time. So you know that experience is important. To do this full time is important, and I know that we will get that in our wonderful agenda later on in the show. But what made you think of this topic? Because a lot of the times we come up with topics for the show because something happened in our business,
right,
or a discussion happened in the office where, we were just sort of talking amongst ourselves. We have a lot of roundtables and accountability meetings here at the office, so we're always sort of chatting with each other. But what made you think of this topic in particular for tonight?
Yeah, this is one that I try to talk to everyone about because I think it's so important. And it's not necessarily me trying to sell myself to everyone out there. I think it's just, the moral of the story to me is that any decision that you make that impacts you, financially, but also in other areas, you should do some research. So this has come up a few times now, and I've been kind of rewriting some of the copy on my website to kind of address this. When I speak with a new client, usually we'll do a consultation on the phone, but then I ask them to come into the office. And a lot of times they're a little taken back, like, well, why do I need to come into your office? And they come, obviously, and then they love it when they're done. But the thing is that there needs to be kind of an interview process. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that happens in a lot of situations. And I've met people that'll be like, oh, I sold my home and it was 40 minutes from here, but we didn't have the best experience. And, a lot of that over and over again, the common theme is that they really didn't take the time to interview the professional that they hired.
Yeah.
So,
and it's such an important thing too. So like,
it is.
And it's important, and you should interview more than one person.
It is. And I say that to everyone.
Yeah.
When I get tagged a lot on Facebook by past clients and friends, and I always say when I comment, I would appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and be interviewed as, a candidate to sell your home. And I think, that's a different response than a lot of other realtors put. But the matter of the fact is you really should be talking to a few people, and it's, you want to find someone you vibe with, but you also want to know what that person's bringing to the table for you. You're hiring someone to do a service.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, I read a statistic somewhere recently where, like, everybody nowadays, like, you have to read, like, 1 million different reviews before you decide on anything, like, ordering anything off of line. Like, and it's funny because working in a referral-based business, and most of our agents have had really great success of just, like, only working by referral. It's funny because, like, it's not just the people that we know that, like, you sort of have to, like, get the opinions and, like, their experience from, but it's also people are looking you up online. They're looking you up everywhere. So it's not just, oh, what worked well for one person. It's like we want to see the whole, like, the bigger picture and everything. So we did a show, I don't know, some point, I don't even know if it's this year or last year. It was like the top 10 questions, and I think I did it with Kristen Howlett, top 10 questions to ask your realtor. Because you should be asking questions before you even sign a contract or anything. You should be asking certain questions to sort of see if this person really is full-time, if this person really is professional. So.
Right. I mean, honestly, would you go to, well, first of all, just full disclosure, when I go on vacation, it's like the only time of the year that I use Yelp. But, I'm in an unfamiliar area. I don't know the restaurants. And quite frankly, I don't want to spend my hard-earned money on crap food. So I download Yelp, I use it the one time of the year, and I read all of the reviews, and I look to see if they're recent too.
Yeah.
And that's always been great for me because I end up going to great places. So I just kind of give the analogy, would you just walk into a restaurant you know nothing about, not look at the menu and just order whatever? No. So I say the same thing from a realtor perspective. You need to know kind of who you're dealing with. Are they a full-time realtor? How much have they been working in the current market? Because Lord knows since COVID, the markets have been different. Some good, some not. But, you need to know who you're talking to. And not only that, so it goes more beyond just experience. It's also what is this person bringing to the table for you? And that's where those 10 questions that you're talking about really come into play.
Yeah. Okay, so what is the impact of choosing an experienced versus an inexperienced real estate agent? Whether you're selling a house or buying a house, what do you think that the impact would be choosing either one?
Right. If we're speaking from a seller perspective, I have seen people who have hired agents, maybe they were referred to them or not. Maybe they just found them on the internet, but all of us here at Boston Connect, we are adamant about professional photography. There are so many statistics out there, on Google and everywhere else about, how much more, people that you get into your home, how much more exposure you get, how many more people are looking at your listings. So let's say you do just pick a realtor and you sign their contract, etc. They come in with their iPhone and they're taking pictures. Now, we all know that the iPhone can take some great pictures, but real estate photographers do their job for a reason. They have the lighting, they have the exposure, they have the correct lenses to get the shots so that, you can make your home shine.
Right.
So, if you hire someone and you haven't asked them, are you, as part of your service to me, are you providing me professional photography? You sign that contract, they come in with their iPhone, they're potentially costing you thousands of dollars.
Yeah. And, as a sort of a professional standard here at the office, so like I do the social media for the company, I don't promote listings that don't have professional photography.
Right.
Because we want to keep it consistent, because that is our standard. So if you if you're an agent and you want us to promote your listing, you got to put a little into it as well.
Right.
So.
Exactly. And I will tell you, everything that I'm talking about tonight, I think that's why I went with Experience Matters, because I've experienced all of these things. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you, because I'm in the office a lot talking to other agents, it's a red flag to us if we see a listing with iPhone photos. We can tell right off the bat. It doesn't take a trained eye. I mean, if the lighting isn't right and, you can't really see the width of a room, right off the bat that, the agent took it with their iPhone. And I do understand that there are sometimes circumstances where somebody needs to be on the market the next day because of extenuating circumstance. But for the most part, if you hire someone, to do this for you, I mean, that is like one of the key things. Not only is it what people see on MLS, but it's on all of the marketing materials. Mm-hmm. And that's basically someone's first impression of your home. And I certainly wouldn't want, it's like taking a selfie.
Yeah.
We use professional photographies for ourselves to promote ourselves. So why would I take a selfie of your house?
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. And I have actually seen agents who had iPhone photos and didn't really market the house more than putting it on MLS, and the house sits on the market and doesn't sell. And it hasn't happened to me, obviously, because I do professional photography, but I have a friend who took over a listing. It expired, which means it didn't sell and the contract ended. She took over the listing. She hired a professional photographer. She made very few changes, but they were good ones, like changing the layout of a couple of rooms. She had it sold within a week.
Yeah. I mean, I am no longer on my home search journey, but, when I was for over a year, I could tell. I could tell who has been in the game for a while. And it's not just because I'm a professional in this. Jim Grady just tried to call me. Interesting. It's not just because I'm a professional in this industry, but, you can just tell when you're looking at, I would say, I put in 8 offers in the course of a year and a half. So how many houses did I see in between that? A lot. So say I looked at 50 houses, okay, and, 40 of them were professional photography and 10 of them weren't. Like, those 10 are sticking out. Like, they're sticking out like a sore thumb. And those ones were usually the properties that, like, yes, we have a guest. Give me your headphones. Okay, she's stealing my headphones. Sharon.
Sorry, I also have beef jerky breath. I was upstairs in my office. Yeah, sorry about that. All over your microphone. You know what? I was just listening to you guys upstairs, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to, they're going to do this show. They're doing a great job. Everything is great. And then I was like, yeah, I hate when that happens too. So you're talking about the iPhone and the pictures with the iPhone. What about my holy crap folder?
I was getting there.
Oh, you were?
I was.
But the ones where I just showed you one recently, the guy took a picture out his car window, and you can see that's not called a rear view mirror. What's that mirror called? Your side mirror.
View.
His side view mirror in the freaking picture. And it was an expensive house. I'm thinking, are you kidding me? All right, that's all I had to say. Hi, Larry. I heard you're in the studio.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, nice to see you. I was all fired up there. Did you feel that?
Yeah, you're really getting fired up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was, because it really drives me crazy, because I see that our agents, they're professionals. They do the right thing, and it looks nice, and they really have a pride of ownership for their clients. And then you're taking a damn picture outside your freaking car window. Enough already. All right.
That is so cheap, really.
It is cheap.
It is, and it's not fair.
You and I had this conversation about photos, and we were looking at photos. She says, I would not publish these photos. There's snow on the ground.
No.
And I looked at you and I said, yeah, it's not Vermont.
Yeah, it hasn't snowed yet.
No.
I know. It's sad. I mean, honestly, to me it comes down to, like, ethics. I mean, I just don't think that that's fair to do to somebody, to take, basically they hire you to do a service, and the best you could do is an iPhone. So speaking of which, so Sharon brought up her list. So Sharon keeps a folder of images that she just is, like, horrified by.
Yeah.
And,
it's a WTF folder, if
yes,
you know what that means.
Yes. So I've sent her a couple that are now in her collection. But, tying into photos, because I don't want to spend the whole time on photos, but tying into photos is staging. And there's a lot of, we've had a separate show of this. Should you stage your home? Should you not? But to me, part of staging too is like putting away some of the clutter. So like I get notified every time there's a new listing in Plymouth County. So I got notified today. I click it and I say, oh, that's the nice front of the house. I click the next picture, click a couple more. The very first shot of a bedroom, and the bed is poorly made, and there's a huge laundry basket overflowing with a pile of clothes.
Yeah.
Like I get that you're living in your home, but it's my job as your realtor to kind of help you out there.
Yeah.
Let's
chuck the laundry basket away.
Like, typically, I would straighten up your bed. I'd make sure the shades are up, if any pillows are crooked. These are just all tiny little things that don't cost anything to just, fix it. So in these circumstances, like I clean off the kitchen counters. I will, if you have, towels, they're folded, stuff like that. So it's just little things that really make a difference in the photos and kind of gives you a little edge there. So that's another thing that always gets me is when I see things, like that could have easily been rectified.
Yeah. So I want to go back to sort of like the impact of choosing an experience and inexperience. So we have, sort of how you put on a listing, doing the photography, staging and everything. But also with an inexperienced agent, they lack sort of the expertise that's needed for navigating the whole entire process. So It's not just when something goes wrong, it's also when something goes right. So, it's knowing the regulations of every town. So where smoke detectors need to be, where carbon monoxide needs to be, you need to do final water reading. It's like all these things that, unfortunately not every agent gets the training where they know that they're supposed to be doing these things because these aren't things that we learn in school.
Right. You learn by doing.
You learn by fire, literally.
Well, I'll tell you because that makes me think of something. So we have an agent in this office who has something under contract. I'm not going to say who it is because it's under contract, but she's on the buy side. And they have signed purchase and sale, but the Title V hadn't been done. And that's something, obviously there's a stipulation for that in the purchase and sale, but the Title V was done so far, after the accepted offer and the purchase and sale, and there's a problem now.
Yeah.
So that's where inexperience comes in too. When I first meet with people to talk about, potentially putting their home on the market, these are questions that I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like, let's get the Title V. We want to say going into this that, we're all free and clear, or we can rectify any issues up front. Similarly, we talk about, the smoke inspections, other things. There's a lot that you can kind of strike while the iron is hot and have that knowledge. I go through a list. Do you know how old the roof is? When did you last do X, Y, and Z for the furnace? How old is your water heater? If you know all of this information, when buyers agents are coming through with buyers and you know all of this information, they know you've done your homework. They know you're representing your seller well, and they know you're serious about selling the house. So that is definitely something that I always make sure to do. I like to have answers. And in fact, I had one property in Marshfield and they had solar panels put on, but they had some problems with the installation of the solar panel and they were worried about maybe some moisture in the attic. So they said, should we just wait until we get to home inspection and, see if it becomes an issue? And I said, no.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a great idea. I said, let's, be preemptive about it. So we called Premier Restoration. They came out, they took a look, and they actually told us everything was fine, but they were willing to, give us something to say, we are all good here. And my sellers were so relieved.
Yeah.
So it's about kind of like, checking off the boxes.
Yeah, it's all about navigating everything. Like I said, it's not just the things that go wrong, but it's knowing that things should be going right and how to get them to go right in the first place.
Exactly. Well, when you do this, for so long and you have a certain number of transactions and you feel like, I will never say I've seen it all because in this industry, I don't think you could ever see it all.
No.
But you do start to learn things like, I'm going to do this before it goes on the market because I want to have the answer and I want to make sure it's okay. And those are all things that you get with an experienced agent.
What are some of the other sort of cost implications that could be impactful for a client if they sort of don't hire a professional? We'll put it that way.
Absolutely. To me, there's a lot of things. One of the things that I offer when you hire me to sell your home is prep. And I just kind of label it as such. I had a client at the very end of last year who wanted to sell her home, and the landscaping was really overgrown. The front of the house needed a pressure wash. The deck needed to be pressure washed. The handle on the door was really loose, and the bathroom faucet was leaking. Within a few days, I had all of that taken care of. And I have before and afters of that, and it made a significant difference. And I really
Did your husband help?
Yeah,
I knew it.
I know. Yeah, the husband is a contractor, so he gets called in, and he's always willing to do it because he knows how much it means to me. But I do stuff like that. Little things that I see that could make a big difference. Curb appeal is huge. He's come in so many times with his leaf blower or a can of paint or a faucet from Lowe's, to just, fix. He's actually even grouted tile for me before. So, little things like that I think make a huge difference. Yeah. So I realize that not everyone can do that, but there are also, other things like, to me, marketing materials, if I go to a listing and they're handing out the MLS sheet, to me, that's, pretty basic. I always like to make sure that there's a brochure, there's information. I usually always have lenders information there because I want to make this experience as great for the seller, but also as great for the buyer. I'm here to provide information and demonstrate that I am a real estate professional.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, and you sort of have that standard throughout all of your clients, right. Correct? Yeah. So it's not just the bajillion-dollar home that
exactly.
you have. It's all of them,
it
know? And, like I said, and everyone's really known sort of my price range where there were so many people, putting in offers on the same houses that I did. But, I feel like we all probably had sort of the same mindset of okay, this is professional. This is sort of not sort of professional, you know?
Right.
But yeah, and again, I'll say it's not just because I'm in the industry. It was because, I was sort of educated to know, because you don't know the process until you're in it, sort of.
Right.
So, there were parts of my journey where I was like, oh, yeah, okay, right. Yeah, purchasing something. Okay,
well,
yep.
I'll tell you, this also just popped into my head. An agent in our office is taking a client of hers, a buyer, to look at $1 million home tomorrow. And when she reached out to schedule the appointment, she was given a code to the house. Yeah. And she and I had a talk about it. She said, don't you think that's weird? Don't you think if you were representing $1 million property that you would be there in person to, showcase and highlight some of the features of the home? And, I mean, that's something that I would ask too, but she's 100% right. I mean, can you imagine hiring someone to sell your home and, they're just giving out a code? They're not even going to be present to, kind of give a tour and show your home. And highlight its features and kind of talk about, what it has to offer, et cetera. So, that's something else I would ask, a potential realtor if you were interviewing them. Will you be showing my home, or are you going to, just kind of put it on a lockbox and let people come and go?
Yeah. It is so important. Like I said, you really do know the difference because it is super important. And I would say probably the same thing with open houses. If your buyer is going to an open house, if you can accommodate that showing, then great, you should. If you can't, you should be looking at that property afterwards if they want to put in an offer.
Absolutely.
Not putting in an offer on something blindly because, you're a professional. You're supposed to sort of come up with other things that they could put in their offer being okay, hey, I noticed this, maybe we should address it, or this might become an issue at some point, whatever. Like I said, navigating the process and knowing that, you have a professional on your side. Yeah.
Right?
Full-time versus part-time.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
I have a hard time with this one. So when I first started real estate, I was part-time and I was able to be available when I needed to be. So that is a difference. But I will tell you that there has been a huge difference. I've been full-time for a while now. So there is definitely a huge difference when you hire a full-time realtor. I have been, it would take me 10 hands to count how many times I have been to a showing or spoken to an agent who has listed a property, and they tell me this is not my full-time gig, so I'm going to have to get back to you later. Mm-hmm. If I hired someone to sell my home and they were receiving inquiries about my home and they were telling them they'd have to get back to them later because they were working, I mean, that's really tough.
Yeah.
You know, I actually had a client who wanted to put in an offer on something here in Pembroke, and he indicated that he worked part-time and that he really could only follow up with real estate stuff on nights and weekends. We waited about 2 days, and she finally said, you know what, if it's this hard to write an offer on the house, I just don't want to be bothered. It's too upsetting to me to have to wait. And I've actually sadly seen that happen a couple of times, not necessarily wanting to put in an offer, but trying to get information about a property that only the listing agent has, and you can't get them to call you back.
Yeah, it's tough. And that's why it's so important, like, to know sort of the difference between full-time and part-time agents, and, you know, knowing that, yes, there is dedication on a part-time agent for sure. You started off with just being part-time, but you dove in and fully committed to being full-time.
Absolutely.
You know, so because you recognize that you needed to, you know, and maybe there were other factors or whatever. And a lot of agents go through this as well, because, you know, you don't just become an agent and then start selling 1 million houses a day. Yeah,
right.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
1 million houses a year, you know, you got to build it up, and you get it. You got to have an income and stuff like that. But, you know, when you're looking for this, you know, type of steady business income, you really have to commit to it full time. And it's not just selling and, you know, helping people buy a house or sell a house. It's also being educated along the way. So being available for doing all of these little webinars and seminars and classes and all that stuff. Like, you have to be available for those things, because that's how you become a stronger agent.
Absolutely.
And getting designations and all that stuff. So, you know, there are tons of benefits with working with, like, a dedicated full-time agent. And I think that, you know, are there any other reasons why?
There are all reasons why. I mean, and that's the hard thing, you know, when I talk to people. I mean, to me, this process from start to finish, from the moment you call me to ask me, you know, if I'll come talk to you about buying or selling, to when you have actually bought or sold, is education. So, you know, to me, it is my goal not just to help you, but to also educate you.
Yeah.
You know, and that is such a big deal to me. So why I was so passionate about this topic is that it furthers the education. You know, if wherever you're listening from tonight, you know, I would just say that if you are thinking about hiring a real estate professional, interview several.
Yeah.
Have the same set of questions and ask them all, you know, the same questions. And you're going to see a huge variety in answers. And that right there should give you some indication of who you would be inclined to hire and who you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, and you can even listen to the past show that we did. So if you go to talkrealestateroundtable.com, or you go to your podcast app and you know, type in Talk Real Estate Roundtable, you can somehow sort through that.
Right.
I think if you search, like, you know, top 10 questions to ask your realtor, it'll probably pop up there too. But yeah, we did a show, and it's just important to ask these questions. And you know, in that show, like I said earlier, like, a lot of our topics come up because of, you know, things that naturally happen in our business. That day, Kristen got a text message from a potential client and said, "Hey, I have a couple questions for you." And there were 10 questions, and you could tell that they, like, researched these questions on, like, what to ask.
I've been interviewed.
They were very. She ended up getting them as a client, and she helped them purchase a home. So that was amazing for her. But that's why we did the show on that, literally that day.
Right.
But yeah, there's plenty of things that, you know, we can sort of help everybody with.
I know. Well, you know, to follow up on that, where here I'm preaching education, tomorrow on my social media, which is Realtor Emmie Flaherty, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I'm also on TikTok, but for purposes of 10 questions, I'll put it on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, so I'll put them out there tomorrow. But, you know, one of the questions is, are you full-time or part-time? Other questions are kind of, you know, what do you offer with your services? And one thing that I think, as far as I know, is unique to me is I am a huge pet lover. I know there are a lot of those people, but where I'm going with this is I have 3 dogs, 2 cats, a flock of chickens, and a horse. So like,
flock of chickens.
I know. So like anytime I have to go anywhere, short term or long term, I have to make accommodations, and I'm totally fine with that. But I deal with a lot of equestrians. I deal with a lot of animal lovers. And when you're moving, you know, to me, my animals are family. They're my kids too. I mean, I have kids, but my pets are kids too. You know, it's hard. You know, I have two big dogs and a smaller dog. You can't just like toss them in a car and drive around for hours during an open house. Like they're going to tear your car apart. So one thing I offer, because I try to think of all situations and make this process as smooth as possible, is if you are having an open house, and I'm, you know, obviously running that for you, Perfect Pet in-home dog walking and sitting will take care of your animals for you at no extra cost.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you can either drop them off.
You can coordinate that?
Yeah, I coordinate all of that. It's on my website, too. I have a little link that says your furry friends.
What's your website?
EmmieFlaherty.com.
Whoa, that was easy.
Yes, it is. But if you know, I get it. And then on moving day, so funny story, but I had a client who had a hedgehog, and I don't even know what the other animals were. They were in a cage. Oh. But they came and stayed at my house. They stayed at my house for 2 days.
They stayed at your house.
They did. I mean, I have a safe and secure location. I don't know what
animals were there, but they were there.
I know they weren't snakes. And I could see the hedgehog. He was super cute. I could see him. And obviously I cared for them. But I want to say they were like chinchillas or something. I don't know. But they stayed.
I wouldn't know how to identify any of that.
No, I think they were smaller than chinchillas. Anyways, they stayed at my house. Like, pets are very important to me. So if you know, on moving day, she will take them for you. Also at no cost. She has like multiple fences out back, fabulous with animals. So I find that to be super helpful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I try to think of the little things, which for pet owners, it's not so little. But
yeah,
anything that I can do to help make moving day less stressful, I will do.
Well, we should do the next time that you're on the show. We'll do a show all about moving day, like the actual. We've done shows about moving. We've done shows about moving with pets and kids and everything. But that's what I'm going to challenge you.
I know. Well,
January
moving with hedgehogs and
small
rodent-like
I
animals.
I almost said dinosaurs. I literally just had to catch myself to not say dinosaurs, but then I had to call myself out. Yeah, if you want to move with dinosaurs.
Right. Well, that could be chickens. They say chickens are the closest living relative to dinosaurs, which is why they call them tiny dinies. Yes.
Tiny dinies. I've never heard of that before.
As a chicken mom, I can tell you.
I guess so.
Yes, they are the closest living relative.
Like an alligator or something, or some sort of, I guess, maybe like the bird, like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, like
thing.
I think if you imagine
them, pelican. I would think that like a pelican,
right? Oh my god, if you imagine them without their feathers, but
interesting. Mm-hmm. So if you're moving with a tiny diny, is that what it's
tiny diny?
We can help you with that.
I would even take your chickens, not with mine, obviously, but
we have a caller.
We love callers.
We have a caller. Who do we have on the phone? Teresa. Hello, Teresa.
Hi, how are you girls?
We're
doing well. How are you?
Good. Hey, listen, my house has been on the market for like a month.
I've
had a lot of showings. I've had a lot of open house. It's horse friendly. I have 3 stalls.
You live in Marshfield?
I know. Do you live in Marshfield, Teresa?
I have a pool, yes. Yeah. It's a beautiful, private, beautiful place. It's paradise. I love it there. I love to keep it. But my family's calling and I have to go. So it's up for grabs. But, I would have, what do you think about a dog-friendly or animal-friendly open house?
Hey, I mean, I don't know. Are you offering for people to truck in their horses?
Yeah.
Well, it's I have 3 great stalls. People could rent the stalls out for $1,200. A month each stall.
Absolutely.
3 stalls and make enough to pay their mortgage.
Yeah, I know which property you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's up for grabs. It's still here,
Well, perfect. Yeah, we'll have to...
Content's negotiable.
Yeah. Perfect.
See,
we'll have to talk with your realtor and see if we can get a little horse party over there.
I know. The answer to your question is, honestly, the answer to your question is, if you're talking about like dog-friendly open houses, I mean, sure. I definitely think that, equestrian people are super particular. I can tell you because I am one. It depends. Like, you need a certain number of turnouts and a certain amount of space to have a certain number of horses. So is that something you've been running into?
No, because, I have an acre of land,
Yeah.
So it's great. It's been great, but, 30 years and we've had multiple horses here and everything. And it's awesome. And you can ride to all of these conservation trails, 350, 400 acres from my house,
Yeah.
And then you get off the horse and you can take a shower outdoor and take a dip in the pool.
Wow, it sounds like a little paradise.
Be with your horse, and the horse is right there with you.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
It's really nice, but, I know it has some, what do you call, maintenance. It needs some more siding. It needs, some, little maintenance. So deferred maintenance. That's what you say, right?
Yeah, that's what we say.
Deferred maintenance. But if you want to put a little flat equity into it, or you wanted to rent the stalls out to make enough money to fix it up, and I didn't want to do the kitchen or bath over because people want to do their own kitchen.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, we've done some shows on some renovations and stuff and what you should and shouldn't do, but you sound like you have a little bit of a piece of paradise over there, so if anybody listening wants to take a look at that, we are happy to show that listing over there in Marshfield. Yes. Because Teresa, you've called in before.
Showings all the time. I keep it
awesome
all the time.
Well, perfect. I will share it tomorrow for my horse friends, and I'll see what I can do, Teresa.
Great.
Yeah.
The horse equestrian's paradise. It's really good.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for calling, Teresa, and good luck.
Okay, thanks. You guys
Thank you.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye.
We just have a couple more minutes left in the show, so I wanted to give you an opportunity to give your contact information out to all of our listeners. So if they want to see Teresa's house, if they want to see anybody's house, if they want to hire a professional, how could they get in touch with you, Emmie?
Right. If you would like to hire a professional who could potentially save you thousands, you can call. I was trying to do that my best advertisement voice.
If you would like to hire a professional.
I know.
Larry could probably do it.
Yeah, right. Emmie Flaherty, full-time realtor here at Boston Connect Real Estate, 781-217-4580, and I am on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as Realtor Emmie Flaherty.
Give your number one more time.
781-217-4580.
Yeah, this is a great topic, and I feel like we have so much more that we could, should be saying. And I'm sorry, Sharon, we're all live on air. Thanks, Sharon.
Right. Well, I was going to say we focus a lot on sellers tonight because I've definitely firsthand seen people that I think could have gotten more for their homes if they had done some of the things that we've already talked about. But for buyers out there, I will say, it does also matter who you work with because they're going to ask the right questions. They know what to look for. They know how to write a winning offer. I actually, once, you start working with me and before we write our first offer, I actually have a PDF of a winning offer guide that I provide to my clients because I want you to understand, the nature of the offer, some of the, key points of the offer and where you can really win. So if you're interested in any of that, the winning offer guide, or I have a beginner's first-time buyer checklist. That's all on my site, too.
Wow, you have so much on your site. I got to go to your site. I want to click on every single link. And I'm going to see what you got.
It's fun. I have some more that I will be adding because, I feel like every time I come across something, I kind of like to put it out there. I have a blog out there, too, but, I will put the 10 things out there tomorrow, the 10 questions you should ask a realtor.
Yeah.
This goes for, buying or selling.
And you should put a link on your website to all the shows that you've done because you've done the show a couple times, and I just signed you up for a January show.
Sweet. I love that.
Yeah, I hope you're available.
I'll make myself available.
Yeah, so, this is a great topic. We didn't get through all of it, of course, because Julia does a fantastic job at our agenda here, but we can continue this discussion. We can do, maybe you can do a little blog post about it,
I'm
too,
going
afterwards.
to.
Yeah, okay. So give your website one more time.
So it's EmmieFlaherty.com, and if you're in the car, my Emmy is spelled with an I-E. I get that a lot at Starbucks.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's EMMIE, Flaherty.com, and 781-217-4580. And check me out on Instagram and Facebook. It's Realtor Emmie Flaherty, and it'll be out there tomorrow.
Perfect. You can go to BostonConnect.com, find all of our contact information. You can find Emmie's contact information and a link to her website, her bio, all that fun stuff. 781-837-4900 is the number. So we're going to be back on Saturday morning with Sharon at 8 a.m. to, talk some real estate. So,
awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Bye,
for joining me.
thank you.
Bye,
Have a good
Larry.
night.
Bye.